Breaking it off and setting it off in the real way, making the girls them chill their mind, making them have a good time. Yeah man, SPZ, yo, alongside Riri. Come down now Rihanna, take it to them girl.
Hey cuties, what's going on? I am back. So happy Friday to everyone out there. We have made it through the week. So today will be story time for you guys. I haven't gave you a story time in a few weeks, so I decided I would start off today with story time. Okay, so this story time will be on my sneaky so-called best friend. So this story goes all the way back into high school days, around, I was in 10th grade and she was in 9th grade. So I met this girl. I'm not going to say her name. I'm just going to call her Sarah. I met Sarah through a good friend, and I didn't know anything about this girl, Sarah, and she wanted to be friends with me. So I thought it was fine. Back in high school, I really didn't have a lot of friends because I didn't really like the high school. I thought everybody was kind of phony and fake acting, and well, the people I came across, and I just didn't really like the school. I wanted to go to a different school, but my mom insists that I go to that school, so I kept to myself a lot. But you know, when I did get friends, it was because people chose to befriend me. So this particular girl, Sarah, wanted to befriend me. We got close and everything. She decided to invite me to her birthday party. So I went. She had a few other females over there that I really didn't know too much. And I knew that her cousin really didn't like me, and I knew that some of the other girls didn't really like me. And I was kind of confused on how and why, because I never really talked to them, so how can they not like me? You know, so at the time I was dating this white boy. His name was Jack, and we really liked each other. We were like, you know, puppy love, in love, and I thought, you know, we'd be together for a long time because we had like deep chemistry together. And he had bought me some things for Valentine's Day, like a cute little white bear and some things to go along with it. So, you know, I take my bear everywhere with me, and I was going to sleep with my bear that night at her sleepover. So I brought my bear, and I was going to sleep with it and, you know, feel special because, you know, my boyfriend gave me a bear. So, you know, I told everyone that my boyfriend gave me a bear, thinking that they would be, you know, excited and happy, you know. But instead, the girl that introduced me to my so-called best friend, she stole the bear and cut the bear's head off with a knife. And I was pissed with her because she did that. And I asked her, you know, why did you do that? And she said, well, I was jealous because you and Sarah became really good friends, and I introduced you, and she was just jealous of our friendship that we got so close, and I guess she felt excluded from being friends with me and from me and Sarah's relationship. So they did that. And I was really pissed. I cried about it. So Sarah, she decided to let me sleep in her room with her. She was like, well, come on to my bedroom. They can sleep down here. You don't have to sleep with them. And you know, I really appreciate that. I thought she was like the nicest person, you know. She seemed so sweet, you know. And she kind of sounds like me. We have like the same voice, and she sounds really sweet and, you know, innocent, but she really isn't, you know. So time went on and time went on. And, you know, we would go to school, and come to find out, her and Sarah and Jack had a class together. And, you know, I found out that she was talking to him behind my back. She was like flirting with him and things like that. So my friend, my good friend, she told me, she was like, well, you know, Sarah is talking to Jack behind your back. And I told her that's not right, because she knows that you and her, you know, she knows that you and Jack go together. And, you know, I got mad at her. So at this point in my life, I'm in 10th grade, she's in 9th grade. I cared about Jack, but things didn't affect me the way they do now, because I was young, and I I really cared, but I kind of didn't care. I didn't know how much I cared until now as we got older. So she was, you know, talking to him and flirting with him, and come to find out a year ago, I talked to my ex, Jack, and he was telling me how she was flashing him in class, like actually flashing him her breasts in class. I don't know how that was possible. She was flashing him and like showing her body parts and things like that. So I asked him, I said, well, why didn't you tell me this when it happened? You know, I wouldn't have probably talked to her. And he was like, well, you know, I didn't think you would believe me over her because that was your friend. And I'm like, well, I didn't even know nothing was going on like this. I mean, my good friend had told me she was, you know, talking to him, but I didn't really think that she would be doing, you know, flashing and all that type of stuff. So he was like, you know, he was like, I'm sorry, you know, we could have still been together, and, you know, we had a good time together, and I really loved you, and I cared about you. And I'm like, yeah, I loved you too, but you shouldn't have waited 10 years to tell me that, you know, the real story. So, okay, I let it go, you know, and I had run into her on Facebook like years, you know, past, and we ran into each other on Facebook, and I was like, I think she inboxed me. She was like, hey, and everything, how you doing? And I'm like, good. You know, I had forgot about Jack. I'm like well into my upper 20s, so I'm like, I don't really care about that anymore. It was high school. Maybe she's changed, you know. So we hooked up, we hung out a lot, and we clubbed a lot, and we hung out, went out to eat and everything like that. And I'm thinking, well, maybe she's grown up. People do change. Not the case. So I met this guy. We used to hang out all the time and go to clubs together. It was this club in Detroit, downtown Detroit, and we would always go there on the weekends because that was like the it club. And we went there, and I met this guy in line. He was so super cute, and I was with my boyfriend. I did have a boyfriend, which is my husband now. But me and my husband, at this point, we had like rocky roads. I was to the point where I wanted to leave him. Like, I was really considering leaving my husband because of some things that we were going through in our relationship. And I just felt like I didn't want to hold on. And I'm so glad that I did hold on. So I'm going to tell you why. So I met the guy, and you know, let's call him Bobby. I met Bobby, and he was cool. You know, I was like, he's super cute. You know, he's not normally what I go for, but he's cute, and, you know, I want to get to know him. So I got to know him. We would go out. I would pick him up. He didn't have a car. He lived across the border in Canada. So I went, he told me to get my enhanced ID so I could come over and see him. I considered that, and you know, I picked him up a few times. We went to the movies. We went, you know, a few places. We went out to eat and things like that. We exchanged, you know, little things like kisses, but I never did anything as farther than that. So one day I go on Facebook, and, you know, this girl, Sarah, has an obsession of adding people and men that I like. She always adds them to her social media, and she always try to keep up with the men that I, you know, am involved with. It could be just a friend or somebody I like, but she always has to make sure that she goes ahead and like talk to them some type of way. So she and Bobby ended up being friends on Facebook, and I got extremely mad because I'm like, I know what she pulled back in high school days, and I just hope this is not a repeat. So obviously it was. So they were like sneaking behind my back talking to each other. And Bobby, he was mad because I lived with my boyfriend at the time, and he couldn't have my attention when he wanted it to. And he knew that I had a boyfriend, but he was cool with it because he knew that I was trying to get out of my situation. And I felt like I was okay with talking to him because I was on the verge of breaking up with my boyfriend. And I feel like if I'm single, then, you know, if I'm not married, I'm single. So that's my mindset at this point. So come to find out, you know, they were talking and talking. I stopped talking to her for a while because I was mad at her for sneaking behind my back talking to him on social media and, you know, trying to hook up with him. So, you know, we became friends again, and, you know, I was like, well, you know, I'm just going to forgive her. I'm always forgiving people, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to forgive her. So we got friends again. We got back friends again, and we just started off where we left off, and we just kept going out and kept going out and kept going out. So it was, we went to the same club we used to go to all the time. So it was this guy, and I'm gonna call him Sean. Sean was there, and I didn't really know him, but he liked me, and he used to go to Sarah and ask her, what's up with Nicole? She's so beautiful. I want to talk to her. And she like put it out there. She was like, well, she's not a, you know, she's this and that. She has a boyfriend, like kind of hating on him talking to me because he told me that she liked him also. She's like everybody. She just wants to talk to everybody. She's one of those females that needs everybody, you know, she's like a needy female when it comes to dudes. So you know, I'm sitting down on a speaker. Everyone's dancing. She's dancing. I'm sitting down. I'm tired. You know, I've danced the night away. So, you know, Sean comes up to me and he's like, you need to watch who your friend is. And I was like, what do you mean? You know, he was like, she slept with Bobby. And I was like, what? I was like, Bobby? Like, Bobby? He was like, Sean was like, yeah, she slept with Bobby, and, you know, because Bobby's my friend, and, she went over to Canada and slept with him, and he was, like, going into details, because this guy, he has no chill, he just saying whatever. He's like, yeah, and she couldn't take the, you know, the D and everything, and she was this and that, you know, giving me all the details about the sex and stuff. So I was like furious. I was like, no, she didn't. Like, after she knew I was mad at her, she goes behind my back and has sex with the dude. Like, I was so freaking pissed. I wanted to like haul off and punch her in her face on the dance floor. So, you know, I'm classy. I have a lot of respect for myself, and I don't put myself out there. So when we got in the car leaving from the club, I was like, so you slept with Bobby, huh? And she was like, what? Like, she was kind of like, wow, how did she find out? How did she know? And she lied about it. And she was like, no, I didn't. And she was like, who told you that? And I was like, Sean, you know, Sean told me. And she was like, no, I didn't. And I was like, you don't have to lie because that's his friend, you know. And she was like, no, I didn't sleep with Bobby. And I was like, I'm going to give you one more chance. Stop lying. I was like, I know that you slept with Bobby. So she was like, I know. And, you know, she tries to play innocent. I know, but it wasn't when we were friends. We wasn't friends at this time. I was like, the whole reason why we weren't friends is because you contacted him on Facebook and was sneaking behind my back. And I forgave you. So I really wanted to haul off and slap the mess out of her, but she was driving, and I knew that wouldn't be good because, of course, she'd probably hit me back and crash the car or something, and I wasn't trying to die. So I was so mad. I was just quiet like the whole time in the car. I'm like, I can't believe this slut. That's all I'm thinking. Like, how dare her? Like, I give her a chance to be my friend again and, you know, give her the benefit of the doubt, and she betrays me again. So I got so mad. I called like every female friend of mine and I told them, I'm like, what do I do? Like, what should I do? Like, I can't believe she did this. I called my friend Coco. I called my sister-in-law, and, you know, I was like, what should I do? She was like, they was just like, just talk to her, see why she did it. So I called her, and because at the point in time in the car, I didn't want to talk to her because I was afraid of what I might do to her. I wanted to punch her straight in her, you know, her mouth. So I asked her, I said, why